is straight ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Melanie. We have breaking news this Easter weekend. An explosion at a restaurant in Progreso has killed 6 people and injured dozens of others. It is a chaotic scene in Progreso right now as rescue crews are looking for survivors in the rubble. We have team coverage tonight, starting with Area 3 reporter Dave Johnson, who is live at the border. He has been following this developing story. Dave, what can you tell us right now, because the numbers keep changing on the deceased at this point?
We will have an exact figure for you in just a moment. We'll be getting it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say, as from the emergency management official who has coordinated this entire event. Let me set the stage for you first. We are at the foot of the International Bridge here in Progreso, Texas. On the other side of the bridge, there is the web of Progreso, Mexico, a very popular tourist spot for the Corpus Christi area and others. Here's what we know as of 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. At 8:30 this morning, a 500-gallon propane tank exploded in a building, a 2-story building, about a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile down the bridge on your right. To put that into perspective, the folks from Corpus Christi who have been down here before, the popular Garcia's Canada store is on the right-hand side. This particular establishment is on the left-hand side, again, about a quarter mile, 3/4 of a mile down the road. There is a restaurant called the Red Snapper Restaurant on top. At the bottom, there is a pharmacy, or should say was a pharmacy, a dentist's office, and some small market stores. The confirmed death toll that we had as of about an hour ago was 6 people dead, 12 injured. All the injured are said to be Mexican nationals living in the Progreso area. All were taken to hospitals in Rio Bravo. As far as the bridge we are at about 10 o'clock this morning until 2:30 this afternoon, this bridge was closed to all southbound traffic going into Mexico. That according to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. At about 2:30, that decision was reversed, and traffic is trickling back into there, although they are strongly advising everybody to stay out of there because all of the stores are closed, and there is a chaotic scene down there of everybody trying to save lives and pull people out of that rubble. I'm joined now by a man by the name of George Garrett, Jr. He's the Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of Westaco. Mr. Garrett is taking time out to talk to us live. First of all, is everything I said factually correct, and what can you add to what we've been hearing?
Well, we've got an update on the number of people that have expired in this event. Right now, we've got a confirmed body count of 8 people dead, about 12 injured, and we're looking for between 7 and 15 people trapped in the rubble at this time.
We were down there not 30 feet away from where the rescues were happening. We saw large cranes. We saw dogs. Were the dogs or cranes successful at pulling any of that rubble up?
We used the dogs and cameras to search for victims, and we were able to identify locations within the wreckage where we may have victims. We're now in a recovery mode. We're starting to lift off the concrete, and we're doing it very slowly and very cautiously so as we have survivors, so we can ensure their safety along with the safety of our first responders.
An eyewitness I spoke to across the street says he saw one woman, a dead, deceased woman, in the middle of the street. As for the other 7 bodies, were they inside the rubble or were they scattered or what?
It's the information that I've received. 7 people were killed this morning in the initial blast. We've recovered 1 body from the rubble, so giving us a total of 8 people.
Any idea, sir, on how this might have happened?
Absolutely none. Right now, we don't have any idea. We do know that the propane tank in the restaurant exploded, causing or setting off the damage that's been done, collapsing the building.
This is a very busy weekend, an Easter weekend, where a lot of people are down here. Is it fortunate that it happened at 8:30? Well, not fortunate may be the wrong word to use, but does it mitigate the fact that it happened at 8:30 in the morning rather than at noontime, 1 o'clock, when the place would have been tremendously packed?
Had it happened later in the day, we would have had a much greater casualty rate. We're very fortunate from a recovery standpoint, a rescue standpoint, that the accident occurred very early in the morning where all businesses were closed, and most of the people on the streets were locals and people that own businesses in Nuevo Progreso.
Mr. Garrett, we appreciate your time for talking to us live. I know you're very busy. I'm sure we'll be talking to you later on. Again, we will be hearing from Mr. Garrett. They held a press conference here at 7 o'clock. We'll hear from him later on our 10 o'clock news. Again, an eyewitness at the scene told me that when he got up this morning, the blast literally blew him back about 6 to 8 feet. When he finally regained his composure,